Welcome to the A2 Show with Andrew Cass and Aaron Parkinson, bringing you the trends and topics that affect our lives the most: business, politics, fitness, family, and finance. With over 50 plus years of combined business experience and over $1 billion in revenue generated, your hosts have a unique gift for seeing many steps ahead where others do not. They bring their unfiltered, contrarian views to the show every week to help you win in business and in life.
Welcome back, everybody. We've got a timely one today where we're talking about how to navigate the fourth quarter of an election year from a business, investment, and mindset standpoint. There's a lot that has to happen. I feel like every 4 years, Aaron, we come back to the investment and the political cycle here. They're all intertwined now: investment, business, and politics. And every fourth quarter of an election year, so every 4 years, fourth quarter, 4 and 4, every 4 years, fourth quarter, there's a lot of adjustments that have to happen, and there's a lot of things that we see from an investment, an economic, from an investment, a business, and a personal mindset standpoint. So we're going to talk about a lot of the things we've seen. There's been some meltdowns in certain industries. There are some investment moves that are happening at a very big level. And then how do you stay sane during all of it and keep yourself in a position to be able to stay optimistic, energetic, productive, efficient, right? It's hard to do because there's really a lot of distraction happening right now. So we're going to unpack three big areas today as we head into the fourth quarter. You might be watching this, who knows, years from now. Don't think you need to be in a fourth quarter to watch this, although it helps. Really, I think what you're going to take away is some really important things when it comes to the business cycle, the investment cycle, and obviously the mindset to deal with both.
Yeah, let's be honest. The fourth quarter of an election year in the United States is one colossal shit show.
I feel like the word is chaotic.
It is
chaotic.
So bizarre.
And it always will be, I think.
And it happens every time.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's probably more so now than ever over the last maybe decade or so, because social media has allowed everything to be broadcasted in real time. So I think we've just got such immediate information and news now that it amplifies everything.
Yeah, I think it does. And I think every election cycle, because the events are so relevant to your life at the time, everybody thinks that this election cycle is the most important. This election cycle is the most dramatic. The reality is that they're all dramatic every single time.
Yeah.
Right?
This is the most important one ever. This is our last chance, right? You get that on both sides, really.
The whole world's going to collapse if you don't vote for our guy or our girl.
There's always extremes on both ends. Although without going into it in this episode, there are some things that are happening right now in this cycle that we've never seen in American history. We've done full episodes on it.
Yeah, we have. And you can actually say that about every election cycle, that there was very unique things that were happening in each one. But
yeah, there's always a uniqueness for sure.
Going into the fourth quarter, here's what everybody just has to understand. We're all in the same boat. And I've been speaking to some different business owners, specifically agencies over the last week. You and I were talking about it. And these agency owners were saying, we're getting crushed this year. Absolutely desperate. We don't know if it's
this year. They're
saying this year.
Okay.
And they're saying, we don't know if it's the economy. We don't know if it's the election. We don't know if it's the inflation. The answer is it's all of them. But when you go into the fourth quarter of an election year, everybody does the same thing every time. Everybody sits on their wallet and they say, I'm not making any big decisions until I know what the future of this country looks like. And, we've started to see some positive things, Andrew. For example, stock market's been fairly good over the last month.
Stock market's been solid. It tends to always be. There's just so much money worldwide coming into it. It's
market's been more consistent. We've started to see some cuts in interest rates for the first time in a long time. Those are very positive from an investment standpoint, from an economic standpoint. There are some little rays of light starting to peek through, but those things don't actually show anything of true value or recognizable difference in the economy for typically like 6 months to a year.
Yeah, there's always a delay effect.
There's always a delay effect. And when you combine the typical normal delay of the effect with the fourth quarter of an election cycle, it's literally like everything goes into quicksand.
It's like a vacuum, right?
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah, it's really, and I think there's a level of anxiousness too, right? We talked about this in the last episode.
Yeah.
People are anxious to have clarity. They're anxious to know who's going to be the president because that affects a lot of policies and who's going to have the Senate and the House. And then what does that mean to the stock market? What does it mean to the real estate market, right? What I'm following a lot right now, Aaron, is I'm a big investor in gold, silver, and Bitcoin. I wouldn't say big, but I like to have exposure to all three. And I like to really know what's going on in all three. So I follow a lot of advisors who are specialists in those three areas, precious metals and Bitcoin. And same thing, right? You're seeing, first of all, gold's at an all-time high. The spot price of gold per ounce is highest it's ever been. Silver is not quite there, but it's had a really good run lately. And Bitcoin is on the verge of its all-time high of 75,000. I think last I checked, it's at 63,000. So it's been in this almost waiting phase, to your point, right? It's a waiting phase. And there's some big institutional money now in the form of mutual funds and ETFs that are sitting on the sidelines for the reasons you mentioned, ready to go in cryptocurrency, things like Bitcoin. And by the way, the more unstable the dollar becomes, the more we see war, inflation, open borders, chaos, the more gold, silver, and crypto, things like Bitcoin will go up in value. And it doesn't look like any of those things are going to end anytime soon. Even if there's another president that comes in, even if the Trump administration gets in and they're committed to wanting to end wars and end conflicts, he did it already in the previous administration, close the border, have some sort of semblance of, no chaos and some law and order and just some America First stuff. Even if that happens, like you said, there isn't going to be this immediate benefit, right? It's going to take a long time. I mean, the damage that was done in the last 4 years, it could take 2 years to undo that. I mean, it's nuts what's going on, at least in America. So it won't be immediate, right? To your point. Yep. So what do you do in the meantime, right?
Well, and that's really the focal point of the episode today, right? Is you've got your mindset, you've got your business, you've got your finances,
And we should say your business or your career. We have sales professionals on here that maybe don't own a business. So when we say business, it's your business of making money, right? So whether you're in a career or a business, that's a category. Investment, finance, financial planning is a category. And then the mindset to be able to navigate and deal with both. That'll be the big topics of today.